Welcome to Shazam Cast.
Da 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 da.
I'm high on believing
Da 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 da.
that you're in love with me.
I don't know.
Hooked on a feeling.
That's so bad.
Ugh.
Come on, Logan. Let's go fight aliens.
Oh, burn, Leo,
Everybody gets
burn.
X-Men featuring Scott Pilgrim.
That's such a double
It's a fucking X-Men movie.
And you got a butt
Shazam
Cast.
Welcome to the Shazam Cast, everyone.
I'm Leo.
I am Groot.
My God. And this is our 16. I don't know the numbers. This is Welcome to Guardians of the Galaxy episode day. Yes, that's right. It's time to talk about the recent blockbuster hit that blew open box offices across the country with its blue suede and Chris or Pat. What is his name?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. That's his name. And Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, and Zoe
Saldana.
What's her name?
Zoe Saldana.
That's right. I was gonna say Deschanel, but that's not it at all.
And
That's
Dave Bautista and Lee Pace and a bunch of others.
Lots of people, lots of famous people, and lots of
Yeah.
people who are famous now, lots of people who were famous then.
All right.
Time doesn't matter, because yay, Guardians. So,
Let me hold on. I have to pull up the fucking description.
we have to talk about the plot. I forgot that that's how this
Um,
show works. To be
yeah.
clear, we haven't recorded anything of this show in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's confusing. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Hold on, I'm getting it. Chill out.
Okay.
All right,
and-
no, there it is. Hold on. Wait, did I get it? Hold on. It's my. Okay. What the hell is this? Where's the fucking plot? Plot summary. After discovering a mysterious orb in another part of the galaxy, Peter Quill from Earth is now the main target of a manhunt led by genocidal maniac Ronan the Accuser. Being hunted across the galaxy, Quill gets lumped together with a group of misfits that need to learn how to get along before they can become the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Woo! Does it say anything beyond that?
No.
Okay, so it doesn't mention that the Misfits, in fact, are a green assassin, a talking tree, a raccoon, and
I am Groot.
whatever Drax is.
He's
Like a blue man. He's like
He's
a
gray
member of
with
the
red
Blue Man group
tattoos.
gone rogue.
He's not green. He's not blue. He's like originally he's green. But,
Oh, is he? But he was like blue with red tattoos or something.
He's like gray.
Yeah, he's
Like a
like gray
bluish
with
gray.
red stuff.
I don't know. They probably changed it because they didn't want two green people on the team.
That makes sense.
But yeah. This movie is kind of like it's funny because when this movie was announced, it was like, Marvel, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you making a movie about a tree and a raccoon in space? But then when the first trailer hit, it was like, oh my god, this movie's gonna be fucking amazing. So it's like, almost like this paradox of like, how the fuck is this gonna work, yet this movie's gonna be awesome.
Right, exactly. And the thing that was going on, I think, definitely with
Mm-hmm.
this movie is that there was a lot of... I mean, Marvel's doing a lot of work on their Avengers franchise right now, and because of that, I feel like everyone sort of primarily associates the Marvel Cinematic Universe with that group of films and
Yeah.
like well-known superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Guardians... When I first heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't know if like comic people... I mean, I'm sure comic people were aware of what it was, but when I first heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, I was literally just like, wait, what? What is this thing? And then they were like, okay, well, there's a raccoon and a tree and a green assassin from space, and I was just like, wait, no, sorry, what? No, excuse me, go back. What? Why raccoon, tree? What are you talking about?
Basically. It's kind of a joke because even like diehards like myself had no fucking idea who these people were. But it's really funny because now a lot of people are like coming out and being like, oh, I was a fan of Guardians before the movie. And it's so funny because it's like, really?
Yeah, if you were a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie came out, write into us at shazamcast@gmail.com and be a hipster.
Yeah. Oh,
You know what? At the beginning of every episode, I might just give them an excuse to write in because I'm getting
Yeah.
real tired of their crap. No excuses, ladies and gentlemen. Write into our goddamn email already.
yeah. If you want your loved ones back alive, write into shazamcast@gmail.com. But anyways, so let's start with good things and bad things. You want to go first, or want me to go first?
I can go first, especially
Alright.
considering I. Actually, okay, wait. Looking over this,
Oh, did you take notes in the theater?
I took few notes, but I did take notes. I
You took
have.
ours?
I took a few notes, but I have no negative notes about this movie, so I'm gonna go first with a couple of my positives, and you can move on.
All right,
How's that sound?
that's cool.
Okay, so my first note, as it always
Actually-
is with
Wait,
every
actually,
what?
maybe I should just start with my negative notes because I have a very few amount, but then it'll kind of like I don't know because
Okay,
I mean
go ahead.
because like everyone's gonna praise the shit out of this movie anyway, so you know we might as well save that for the end. But I do have a few negative notes. Also, by the way, spoiler warning. Probably, I mean, should we try to keep this spoiler free since it's like
Well,
I
you know
don't
what I've
know.
been thinking about with the new format for the show that we've been thinking about recently.
oh my god, what's this? Well, we're not explaining it here. But.
Okay, we're not explaining it here, but what I am going to say
Mhm.
to you is we consider this with the new way that the show is probably going to work. We're not going to have to reveal all the spoilers in order to do an
Yeah.
episode. So
Mhm.
it's going to be perfect. We're going to actually be able to do
Yeah.
things like, hey, go see this movie if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, then you'll know what we're talking about. We won't be like, hey, spoiler warning, we're going to give you all the spoilers. Now go see this movie. We recommend it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're totally right. For our audience members, we may or may not be doing some behind the scenes work.
Oh, yeah. Things are happening that you would not believe in your wildest dreams,
I have no idea
children.
what you're quoting. Anyways, but so yeah, I'm gonna try to keep the spoilers to a minimum since this movie's fairly new and spoiler alert, I recommend it to literally everyone. But
Yeah.
I have a few negative notes. It felt like almost like there was. I feel like this isn't like the director's cut in a sense. I feel like this is a very edited cut in a sense. Like I felt like there might have been parts left out or parts that could have lasted a bit longer, especially emotionally. Like it just felt a little tiny bit rushed.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I just realized that I had one negative note, but I'll get into that
Yeah.
after you're done.
But like it just I don't know. I felt like there could have been a little more lingering on certain parts, but you know, obviously get into the positive stuff. But just if I have to be a bit negative on this movie, that's all I gotta say on it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I got one thing as well, and then
Mhm.
we'll move on to why this movie is great and everyone should see it ever.
Basically.
So, my one negative note is that the expositional character development can get a bit hasty and a little silly
Mhm.
in ways that, like, so for example, all of the. I'm not going to go into any specifics because, once again, this movie is fairly new and a lot of people still haven't seen it. So, all I'm going to say is there are moments where I feel like. Okay, so, like, probably Peter Quill and Karen Gillan's character Nebula are the people who get the most in-person, like, on-screen character development.
No,
Beyond
I wouldn't
that-
say so.
Beyond that, I feel like most of the character development was limited to exposition in some kind of rage, being yelled at the camera, but it was
I-
so well masked behind the characters being amazing that if you weren't looking at it from a critic standpoint, you would not even think that. And I personally didn't until it was pointed out to me later, and then I was like, oh wait, this is truth. Except for one moment, which I'm not going to explain because it's actually quite great.
I kind of agree with you, but I also think it's done well enough, and it still reveals stuff about the character in a way that's true to the character and interesting to say. It doesn't. I wouldn't say it's negative. I think it's clever.
That's true. It is, yeah.
Mhm.
That's not necessarily a negative note.
Mhm.
It's just a note. That's
All right.
something to say about the movie.
All right, so now we're gonna get.
Sorry,
Just
that was a siren in the background. Oh, not a siren, just like a car honk. I think someone honked for the movie. Who knows? Whatever. I'm not gonna. Shall we just try to give context to every car noise that happens outside my window from now on?
It was 1876 when this car was made.
No, I'm talking about like the time when we said that the cops are coming to arrest you for whatever. Yeah,
Whatever.
that was a car honk for. I
Honk if
don't
you
know.
love me.
I don't know. Never mind.
Okay, anyways, but so I think I'm gonna try to keep my positive notes again spoiler-free-ish, but I think we're gonna try to have like a little spoiler talk for those who have seen it, and you can skip ahead or whatever. But anyways, my main positive notes are everything. I mean, like, okay, so I think what it is that it's the feel of it and it's the universe of it. No, not the universe, the characters. Okay, I like everything in this fucking. Okay, hold on. How do I say this? Just like I basically like everything, but I'm gonna try to. What should I do first?
Well, I mean, my notes are a little more specific. So if you wanna, the positive
my-
notes, my positive.
Mine are a lot vaguer usually than his, but okay, I'm gonna start with the. Okay, I think I figured it out. I think that's how the story is about the character. No, well, it is, but I don't know how to fucking talk about this movie. You should go first.
Okay, here I go. Even though mine are specific, they're also vague. So here are my notes. Opening, yes. Oh, Marvel. Remember that I was taking these in the movie theater as I was watching the movie, sort of scribbling them down haphazardly so that not to distract myself. So once again, the opening of the movie is, as with all Marvel superhero movies, fantastic. I absolutely love it.
I didn't. Oh yeah, the opening with fucking
On Earth with Peter, yeah, with
Mhm.
little Peter and stuff, yeah.
There's a, I was watching Doug Walker's review of Guardians, and it's like he said that when he saw the movie, he was like, "Did I walk in on The Fault in Our Stars?"
We won't give away why. It's the
Yeah.
beginning of the movie, so there's
Well, he
not
kind of
much.
gave it away with talking about Fault in Our Stars, but
But yeah. Then I said CGI, beautiful landscapes, beautiful film, very nice.
very nice, such good. Wow.
This is especially considering that the Shazamcast promo that we made for YouTube has a little tiny dog sneaking in the corner at one point.
Oh yeah, that.
Oh God! Well, because basically there was like a bit where you said "wow," and I felt like I had to, so I stuck it
Yeah,
in.
I love it. He just kind of peeks up out of the corner. Okay.
Yeah. So then I said, "Oh, okay. There is an." I just like the design of a lot of the technology that they use in the movie. It's like a very nice Star Wars-esque feel in a way. Like, but I'll get into the Star Wars thing later. What I really, a few of the things that I really love is it just says meta, and I'm not sure what that means, but I remember the movie being really meta at some point about something. But what I do, it's when like it sort of is really aware of itself, like with the thing with Peter Quill and his Star-Lord, the nickname, and
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's meta. I would say it's more, just say kind of more character development. Like they know that this isn't like the most well-known character.
Right. Oh yeah, exactly. It's not that it's meta. It's just that it's like this sort of. I don't know. It feels like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not afraid to make fun of its world, which I like.
Yeah.
It's like it can make jokes, and
Well-
that was like when the humor of this movie kicked in. It really kicked in, and it starts and it keeps going.
I
This
don't-
movie. If this movie is one thing, it's very funny.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, there's never a moment in the movie where they're like, "Hey, look, it's a talking raccoon. What the fuck is that?" It's they take it. They at least take their characters really seriously, and they don't look at they don't make fun of their own characters in a way. You know, like
Yeah.
they're-
That's right.
They take Groot seriously, even though he says fucking 3 words in the whole film, and they take Rocket seriously. And one of my things is I fucking love Rocket Raccoon. Like before this movie, I was like, what the fuck is it? Why the fuck is there a character who's just a talking raccoon who has guns? Now after this movie, I'm like,
It's amazing. Rocket Raccoon is
yeah.
literally just one of the best characters I've ever heard of, especially just the fact that I absolutely adore raccoons as an animal. They're
Yeah.
so great.
I want a
So-
fucking plushie of Rocket Raccoon.
What? The history of Rocket Raccoon?
No, I want a plushie.
Oh my God, yes. A plush Rocket would be
Mhm.
amazing. And the fact that he's voiced by Bradley Cooper, I also can't get over that.
Yeah,
That's
like,
wonderful.
this is one of the only movies where I didn't care it was CGI, because it worked really well. Like, usually I prefer physical effects over CGI, but here, just with a mocap, it worked so well. Like, there was moments where I was just like, okay, that's a raccoon, whatever. And, like, I don't know. And I think they built in his insecurity about him being a walking, talking raccoon with his character. Like, there's that moment where he's like, you know, in the bar, where he's like, this is vague-ish, minor spoilers. Where it's
Kind of
like,
spoilery, yeah.
where it's like, he called me vermin, she called me a rodent. And it's like, you know, if I was a walking, talking raccoon, I wouldn't want people to call me a fucking rodent or vermin, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, ugh, they got that. They got characters good in this.
Yeah, it's really nice, and like his friendship with Groot is also really well done. Like it's surprisingly well done for a raccoon and a tree. Their friendship and their character relationship is remarkably profound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of any movies I've seen in the past that could develop as deep of a relationship between a rocket and a tree. Sorry,
A rocket?
a raccoon and a tree.
Like, yeah. And that's again with taking its characters seriously. Like, a lot of things with DC, a lot of the reasons DC is just failing so miserably is that they're embarrassed about their weird, crazy stuff. You know?
Oh yeah, this was something you talked. Yeah, Dan talked to me about this. This is something with the DC movie universe that they're trying to develop right now. Something that's really funny about the way they do it is that it feels like every movie that they make, it feels like they're apologizing for their comics.
Yeah. It's like in Man of Steel. It's like, I know Superman is supposed to be like a super good character. I'm sorry about that. We made him like super dark and like grim though, so that's cool. And then like in Batman, it's like, or in the most recent film, it's like, I know the whole League of Shadows thing is stupid. I'm sorry. Well, you know, it's cool. We totally don't care. We totally get that Bane is not like cool. I'm totally fucking this up, but you get that. You probably get the point I mean.
Right? Yeah, and Green Lantern, it's like, oh yeah, we know.
Neither of us have seen Green
backstory
Lantern.
is so ridiculous and convoluted. Let's just dumb it down. It's gonna be
Yeah. But neither of us have seen Green Lantern, so.
Oh yeah, neither of us have seen the Green Lantern movie. I've seen trailers, I've seen snippets,
Yeah,
and I
but,
don't know anything about the Green Lantern comics either. At least Dan has that.
Yeah, I know who Green Lantern is.
Yeah, I've never read a single Green Lantern comic.
I've memorized the fucking Green Lantern vow.
In brightest day.
In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Yeah, me too. What now?
Oh fuck.
To be fair, I had a lot of time when I was at Six Flags next to the Green Lantern.
Oh yeah.
Standing, staring up at that poster, being, "Oh crap! I am not going on this ride." So, I had time to worry about that.
Yeah, but with DC, and here's the thing. In general, I like the more like space stuff in the DC comics more than I do in Marvel comics. And I'm probably gonna get shit for this, but I don't know. A lot of people have been hating on DC just because they have bad movies, and to them I say fuck you, because yes, DC's movies are fucking shit. Past Dark Knight, mind you. But the source material is fucking brilliant. You know, there's a reason it's Marvel versus DC, not Marvel versus fucking Dark Horse or whatever.
Right.
Mm-hmm. This is where I take a break to eat some macaroni and cheese, excuse me.
That makes sense. So, let's see. I'm just going to keep going through notes while Dan eats mac and cheese real quick.
Yeah.
I like the character relationships that they build with them. As it said in the synopsis, they have to first learn to get along before they can learn to, before they can save the galaxy. And that, I thought, was the way they did it, because there are a lot of There's
Yeah.
a lot of really there's a lot of movies I feel like in which there are like, characters that don't get along and they have some kind of rivalry and they need to look past that in order to complete the task at hand. But I feel like this movie is one of the few I've seen that really gets that down like right, and it does it well. And the first
Yeah.
really the first half of this movie it felt really Indiana Jones-esque
Oh, definitely. Like that scene
in a
was
lot
fucking.
of ways.
By the way, whoever Disney, if you're looking for a new Indiana Jones, Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, actually.
But just adding on to that, compared to like the Avengers, this movie was a lot more about the character relationships than it was the story. While in Avengers, it was more about like the story and the universe than it was the character relationships. I mean, it was
That's
about
true.
character relationships, but this one, from the beginning, like within the second scene of the not the second scene, but like the second like setting, basically all the characters were together and were established together. In Avengers, it wasn't until like maybe like half an hour in that Thor showed up, and
Yeah, the thing that really I feel like one of the primary differences between this movie and Avengers is that this movie didn't. It's like in Avengers, it is a lot about. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Avengers.
Yeah, same with me.
I saw it a long time. I saw it when it came out, and I saw it again recently.
I have that shit on
And-
iTunes. Avengers is maybe, I'm gonna say this, is maybe the best comic book film yet. Like, this is a challenger, no doubt, and so is Dark Knight. But just saying, that Avengers is fucking amazing.
Exactly. And if I had to choose one like semi-negative thing to say about Avengers, it would be that I feel like the whole characters can't get along and they have such this internal conflict felt a little rushed / shoehorned in there.
Yeah.
And this movie is the exact opposite of that. Like the first half of it is a lot of it is just about them is about getting the characters together, getting them developed, and the characters are introduced in a way that doesn't feel like the fact that this movie could work as a standalone film is something that's really great about it,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we don't need to have a back like an we don't need a Rocket Groot separate movie to see where they come from.
Actually,
and
we
don't need
totally do, because that would be the shit.
Actually, when I was looking for fanfic for the next episode, I happened upon something called Guardians Origins Rocket. And it was essentially an X-Men Origins Wolverine style story based on how Rocket was created and how he got to where he is at the beginning of Guardians. Unfortunately, it was well written and like alright. It was like alright rounded. The grammar was okay, and the story wasn't horrendously stupid. So I couldn't read it on the show. But
Yeah.
oh well.
All right.
Look into that in your own time if you're interested, because I didn't get to look at a lot of it, but it seemed pretty alright.
Yeah. Again, we don't think all fan fiction is bad by all means, and we think that it can be good, it can be interesting, all that, but we just like to make fun of all the shitty ones.
It's just really fun to read really awful ones, yeah.
And again, if it's just bad, we'll read it. Like, we wrote that fucking comic book, whatever. What was it?
Comics Nicks. We don't
No,
need
not
Comics Nicks
Nicks.
necessarily.
The thing like how to be a comic book collector.
Yeah. Wait, the art of comics collecting.
Yeah, that. Yeah. So again, we'll read anything that's shit. But anyways, back to Guardians. Another thing that were you like shuddering?
No, I was laughing.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Anyways, but another thing that I just really liked about this movie is that the character relationship was like really entwined with the story and with what needed to happen. Like, if these characters didn't get along and didn't go together, the universe is fucked. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, hiccups. Oh god, do I have the hiccups again?
Oh no.
Anyways, but
The show is over. No, sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, but yeah, this one, it really felt like the character relationships were the integral part of the movie. And like
Oh, yeah.
this movie would not be nearly as good, interesting, or necessary without those character relationships. And-
Definitely.
mhm. But yeah,
Oh, and some credits to people who, to just like things that I love to see,
Mhm.
and that were great. Oh wait, no. Oh yeah, one is just for the first the first context in which I heard of this movie was that Karen Gillan was going to be in it, because for people who don't know, for people who haven't heard me mention it before on the show, I'm not sure if I did. I am a hardcore Doctor Who fan.
pre-season 7, mind you.
Well, yeah, I'm not such a season 7 person. Just that's all on me and the Moffat stigma. For people who know what I'm talking about,
I actually
high
was
five
like,
you.
I was doing a class today, and we were talking about Doctor Who, and one kid was like, "So what? How do you not like Moffat?" Sorry, I'm doing an insulting voice, but and he just kept listing off episodes from season 7, and it was just like, Nightmare in Silver, stupid. I don't even remember freaking it. The
Rings
one
of Akaten was just ridiculous.
no, but it was just like Rings of Blue, stupid. You didn't like that? I was like, no, stupid. Yeah, but okay, enough about Doctor Who. Even though they are both spacey and whatever,
Yeah, so the point is, the first context in which I heard of Guardians was that Karen Gillan was going to be in it, and she was going to be bald and blue.
Mhm.
And I was like, huh. And then I watched a trailer for it that someone linked on my Facebook, because this was like in the early stages when that trailer came out before I had even thought about like doing this show with
yeah,
Dan.
yeah, we thought about the show maybe a month or so before it went on air.
Yeah. It was a very fast decision. So, what happened was, I saw the trailer and I was like, huh, this actually looks like a really... I mean, it looks like a weird movie,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I'll look into it. And then as it gradually approached closer and closer, there was more and more of a hype about it, and I got gradually more and more confused about what was going on.
Yeah.
And when it finally came out and I saw it, I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's what that is. And let me say that I was pleasantly surprised,
Mhm.
to say the very least,
Yeah, this movie.
by this film.
I wouldn't say this movie is pleasantly surprising. I'd say it's fucking kick-ass.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't pleasantly surprised. Sorry, I'm having trouble speaking right now. It's not that I was, it's hard to explain. I didn't understand what this movie was, and I expected it to be awesome by the time a couple trailers came out.
Yeah.
I was really happy to have been led to it, because a couple months ago, if this had come out, I probably would not have gone to see it,
Really?
just because I wouldn't have, or maybe I would have just because my friends were going, but I wouldn't have had much of a reason to, and I wouldn't have had much of a motivation for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really glad I saw this movie. It gave me faith that we can have really great standalone films right now, because
Stanley
honestly,
superhero
at the
films?
moment, there is more money being put into sequels and
Yeah.
spin-offs of
Mhm.
things than there is on standalone films, and I feel like this is a really good example of a standalone film done well. Even though it is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it is an example of a standalone film done well, done really well,
Mhm.
and succeeding beyond belief.
The thing though about the universe is that you couldn't go into this movie without knowing what the fucking Iron Man is, and you will love it more or less the same, because there's a ton of little Easter eggs and shout-outs to comic book stuff, and it definitely lives in the same universe as Avengers, Captain America, all that, but you don't have to know shit about comic books to like this movie, as Leo just said, because, like, you know, Thanos is in this, and if you're not a comic book fan, you'll be like, who's that?
Right.
You just
But
like
so,
it. But
oh yeah.
and-
Go ahead.
and the fact that there's all this comic book stuff in it makes it feel like the universe is really alive, and that there's really, like, substance to it, and it really makes it kind of more interesting, because when you look at the Guardians, it's like they're this kind of like it in both literal and not literal, but like both literal and like in the story, they're the fucking outcast losers of the universe. Because like in the real life comic book, you know, world, no one knew who the fuck these people were when it was announced, and it's that idea is present in the movie because it's like, you know, it's all said in that one scene when it's like, Star-Lord, who? Star-Lord, man, and it's like it's totally encapsulated on that, and it's like they know. I don't know. The filmmakers knew that these guys were not known and not like popular, and yeah,
there was a great actually that scene. I feel like it would make a really good, just that moment would make a really good gif of what it was like when most fans found out that this movie was being made.
Yeah,
it was like Star-Lord, who? Star-Lord, man.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy, who? Guardians of the Galaxy, man. and then all the fans were like, I liked Guardians before Chris Pratt.
Before it was mainstream. Yeah,
No.
there are a lot of Guardians hipsters coming out of their shells right now.
I'm
Shut up.
seeing this. Like, legit, I'm going on, like, I don't know, forums and whatever. I'm seeing, like, you know, my favorite team ever before the movie, mind you! And it's just like, oh, shut up, man. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not doubting that there are fans of the series. I'm just saying that if you're honestly telling me, like, this is the best, most popular group out there, you're fucking wrong. Well, I don't know. They're I don't know. I can't definitively say that they are not the best group. I'm just saying they're not the most popular group, obviously.
They're not the most popular group. Like, not... You cannot claim that this is a well-known comic book franchise.
Yeah.
Because if me, who thinks Green Goblin is a Superman villain...
Are you gonna keep going with that?
I'm gonna keep going with that.
All right.
If me, who thinks Green Goblin is a Superman villain, had never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, is not a popularly known comic franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? To be fair, Green Goblin is a Superman villain, and I had heard of this before. That was the longest awkward silence ever made on the show.
Don't you dare edit that!
15 seconds, I think.
Don't you fucking dare edit that!
No, that's not being cut down.
Okay. Back to the movie.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
you know what was great?
What?
And I'm not going to say anything about what it is, because this movie's still new, and people went to so much effort to hide this, to make sure that it didn't come out as a spoiler. The post-credit scene in this movie is amazing.
Okay, I'm going to go into this. So, spoiler... Well, it's actually not that spoiler alert. I mean, vague spoiler alert, the post-credit scene has nothing to do with anything ever. Like in the cinematic universe, like
I don't think we should say that.
No, well, it's a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. Like, you know.
Oh right. Well, no, okay. You know what? Don't explain anything about the post-credits.
No, I want to talk about it. But so, can we safely enter spoiler territory now, or?
I don't want to tell anyone.
Okay, so I want to give some interesting backstory on it because it's actually kind of funny what they did and how they did it with it. Like, you know.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about, and okay, you know what? Let's release a separate tiny podcast recording called Spoiler, 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 Don't Listen, in which we talk about the post-credit scene of Guardians.
And all the other spoiler stuff.
Or we can just do that at the end of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, are we, like, done with our non-spoiler talk, or do we have...
Let's do, you know, here's what we should do. Let's do final thoughts, and then I'll play the outro that I always play, and if you want to keep listening and you've seen the movie, then listen to the post-credit scene conversation, and if you haven't,
It's like
then
a
turn it off when
post-credit
the outro-
scene for
What?
our podcast.
What?
Because it's like after the credits and stuff, we have a little extra thing. It's like that's
Oh
clever.
my god, you're right!
Okay, we'll edit all this out so people don't hear it and get
Okay,
spoiled.
so let's,
So, you stick through the credits, guys.
stay through the credits of that movie. Stay through the credits of this podcast if you've seen the movie.
If you've
If you
seen it.
haven't,
Yeah.
then turn it off when the outro starts.
Yeah.
So,
But,
final thoughts on this movie?
Well, are we done with... Oh, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. We did...
Basically, this movie is a really good mesh of... It's a very Star Warsy in the way that...
It's
I
basically
forgot.
Star Wars
I
meets
forgot.
Indiana Jones.
I forgot. Yeah, it's a Star Wars Indiana Jones, and here's this was something I was gonna say and then I forgot. One thing that this movie is really good at is that it doesn't shove exposition in our faces every couple minutes to explain what everything is.
Yeah.
It allows the movie to speak for itself. Like when we first meet Rocket and Groot, it's very clear and it very established what kind of
They establish who they are through their character, through just
Right.
how they talk.
Exactly. We don't need people going like,
Oh, it's
like, oh, look, that's
Rocket Raccoon, the
Dan.
bounty
That's
hunter.
Mr. Dan,
Mr.
the
Dan.
podcaster vigilante from Atlanta.
What? I'm from Atlanta, apparently.
Yeah, Mr. Dan, the podcast vigilante from no, not you. His last name is Dan. His name is
What?
Garamond Dan from Atlanta. City.
Garamond Dan from Atlanta, who is a vigilante podcaster. What?
Wait, Atlanta? No, not Atlanta. Atlanta City.
This joke is beyond over.
This is your secret identity.
What? I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
This is your secret identity. Dan.
My secret identity is Gandalin Dan, the podcast vigilante.
From Atlanta City,
What?
Nebraska.
Fuck you. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Okay, oh, you know who we didn't talk about at all in this movie?
What?
The villains,
The villains.
who, in all fairness, are not very interesting. But
yeah, not too engaging.
except the thing is that it's not really who we're here to see. We're here to see fucking Rocket and
the
Groot.
Guardians.
Yeah, we're here to see the Guardians. But I'm gonna just briefly touch on the villains because I think it's actually a really clever choice on who they chose, which is Ronan the Accuser. And so this is where we get to comic nerd, because Ronan is a member of the Kree, and the Kree are a race of aliens who are at war with the Skrulls, who are a bunch of shape-changing aliens, and
Sorry, they're in a war with the squirrels. Did you just say they were at war with squirrels? Because there's a talking raccoon in this
the
movie. So
Skrulls.
the scrolls.
With a U, scroll.
Oh, the scrolls. Okay.
And
Sorry, I blanked out, and I was just thinking.
I was hoping
about
we were gonna have
what I'm
another
gonna eat
silence.
for dinner tonight. While you were talking about the history of the Skreer, and
The
I the Skreer versus the Skrulls, and I was
Leo.
what? Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Explain your Skreer.
So Ronan is a member of the Kree, who are
The Kree.
who are a group of aliens who are at war with the Skrulls. And the Skrulls are a bunch of shape-changing aliens who are usually associated with the Fantastic Four, but in more recent years have been kind of just general Marvel. But anyway.
I'm still hearing squirrels every time you say it, but
Okay, whatever. But the point being that the Kree have this guy named Marvel, who is a captain, or Captain Marvel.
you're kidding.
Oh man, yeah, this is this shit. So, anyways, they sent Marvel down to Earth
Oh
to
my god.
kind of scout out what Earth is like, because Earth is like dab in the middle of the Kree-Skrull War.
Oh, jeez.
So
Captain Marvel.
I'm getting to it, dude. Anyways, but I'm not going to talk about the whole copyright shit.
Isn't Captain Marvel a woman? I thought Captain Marvel was a woman.
I'll get into it. Hold on. I'm explaining this whole shit. So anyways, Captain Marvel went to Earth to scout it out, see what the fuck it was. And he was like, dude, we can't blow up this planet because it was in the way. Or no, but what... Okay, I forget what it was originally, but they wanted Earth for something. And it was like, dude, we
The
can't...
hell are you even talking about? At
I'm
this
talking
point?
about the fucking Kree.
Okay, sorry. Talk about the Kree. Talk about the Kree.
Okay, anyways. So the Kree wanted to either, I think, blow up or take over Earth, you know, I'm assuming the latter, but whatever. And Captain Marvel was like, bro, we can't do that. Earthlings are cool. And the Kree was like, no, shut up, bitch. And they sent, I think they sent a sentry down. I'm probably fucking this up, but anyways, this is a vague thing. Sent down some guys, and Captain Marvel was like, dude, you gotta help him. And he joined the Avengers, and they all stopped this sentry. But what happened was there's this supporting character named Carol Danvers, who was hit with a blast from this sentry that they sent down. And Marvel was like, oh shit. And they took down the sentry, but Carol got superpowers from that blast, from radiation.
And she became Captain Marvel, the woman.
No, she became Miss Marvel.
The woman.
Shut up, Leo. Anyways, so Miss Marvel then joined the Avengers and eventually became Captain Marvel because Captain Marvel died and then came back and blah, blah, blah. I'm not
So she
explaining.
became Captain Marvel, the woman.
Eventually. She,
Okay.
very recently became Captain Marvel. But she was known
The
as Miss
woman.
Marvel. But the
The
bigger
woman.
picture here is that Miss Marvel is a
woman.
huge staple in the Avengers and is rumored to come into the Avengers universe soon.
So of course they chose Ronan the Accuser in order to tie it all together.
Vaguely. But two bigger things is that, firstly, they announced that the Guardians are going to be crossing over with the Avengers.
What? They did?
Yeah, that's going to be kick-ass.
When?
I don't know. Soon?
Okay, no, I mean, when did they announce this?
Oh, like a week ago. I don't know.
In San Diego Comic-Con?
I don't remember where. But
Okay.
anyways, so that happened. But the kind of bigger thing is that this is kind of spoilers for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, well, that's fine. Nobody watches that. No, I'm
Okay,
kidding,
so-
you guys. I'm sure
but-
everyone loves that show.
anyways,
I just
but
have
whatever.
no idea what the hell it is.
But what happens on that show is that Agent Coulson, you know, spoilers for Avengers as well, Coulson dies,
Alright, well, everyone knows that. It was in 2012.
and then but then he comes back to life.
That was also in 2012.
That was in 2013, I think.
Oh, he was gone for a whole year.
Yeah, that's impressive. Anyways, but in an episode, he's looking into how he got back. Because it's like, it's not just one of those bullshitty comic deaths where it's like, oh, and then they came back to life. It's like a...
I was shot through time
Exactly.
by Loki. That's why he had blood all over him.
It's not by Loki.
He was killed by Loki.
No, he wasn't.
What was he killed by?
Someone who was brainwashed, I think. I don't remember. Anyways. You don't know what we're talking about? We must sound like totally insane.
We're still talking about Coulson. You were
No!
just trying to
No,
explain
you were interrupting
the war
me with
between
the
the
fucking-
squirrels and the trees, and you were like, Coulson.
Anyways,
So this is basically what I understand to be the story of the comic book world. Once upon a time, there was a planet of the Krill who were at war with some squirrels, and together they sent down Captain Marvel to the Earth to see what was going on. And Captain Marvel thought Earth was cool and he wanted to keep it as a souvenir, so he joined the Avengers to fight the Sentinels from X-Men. But the Sentinels turned Carol Denver into a Captain Marvel the woman, and she joined the Avengers too, Age of Ultron, and they lived happily ever after.
I wouldn't say you're wrong, but I also wouldn't say you're right.
I feel like I was pretty close.
Okay, but back to Coulson. What happened was he was searching into how he died. And again, this is not a bullshitty comic death. And he was searching in this lab, and he opens up this like big tube or whatever, and inside it, you see this dead blue alien.
It's Captain Marvel.
Maybe, because the Kree are blue. Like, they're blue-skinned. So, a rumor is going around that Agent Coulson is going to become Captain Marvel. Yeah! You see how that all ties together?
Oh my god! Wait, Coulson is male.
Yes!
Oh, Captain Marvel the man.
Yes!
Okay, not the woman.
Yes!
Carol from Denver, the woman.
Ugh. Anyways.
Well, Carol, Coulson, names are close, man.
Anyways, so that's how the Kree come into it. But originally what we were talking about is how the villains in this movie. But yeah, unfortunately, Ronan the Accuser isn't the deepest villain, and he's basically just, I want to blow up this planet because reasons. But for me, the really interesting part was Thanos, also known as the purple guy at the end of the Avengers.
Shh, it's a spoiler from 2 years ago.
Seriously though, if you the Avengers was the third highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah, it's true. So if you haven't seen it, then you're living under a rock.
Anyways, but yeah, Thanos is the purple guy.
Or The Rock, because he was in a movie about superheroes as well.
What movie?
I don't know. Dwayne Johnson was in something.
You know, to tie this all together even more, it's rumored that he's going to be playing Captain Marvel in the DC movies soon.
Wait, Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah!
Oh my god! This is such a coincidence episode.
It is! But anyways, but the interesting thing was Thanos for me, because it was recently announced that Josh Brolin was playing him, and he didn't show up for very long in the movie, but when he showed up, he fucking showed up, and you just felt a presence from him. And anytime anyone talked about him, it was like, Thanos, the most powerful being in the universe.
Oh
so,
yeah, because he's basically God. Evil God.
Kind of, vaguely.
Right? That's what I've been told about him.
PJ told you that, didn't he?
No, I think you did. Or yeah, it was PJ. It was PJ.
I remember he was...
PJ is a friend of ours both, by the way, you guys, if you didn't know.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
I
alert, he's a friend of ours.
recently drank some space rum, so I'm like...
Yeah, you're always high.
On life.
Anyways, but...
And space rum.
I don't even remember what I was talking about. But yeah, Thanos showed up and he was cool. That's basically what I was
Yeah,
saying.
so do you want to do final thoughts?
Yeah, final fucking thoughts. This video's over time anyways. Actually, should I do final thoughts or should you do final thoughts first?
I'm going to give this movie an 8.5 out of 10, maybe even a 9, because it's really, actually, really so super good. And it's probably, it's definitely probably the best movie I've seen for this show so far. But to be fair, all I've seen is all of the X-Men movies and then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 90s. Oh, wait, no, I saw Judge Dredd, that's right.
Yeah, Dredd was awesome.
Yeah, oh, right, yeah, Dredd was good. But this is even better, because this, I didn't have to watch for 6 hours, and also this is just a really good movie. It's really, really so good, and I enjoyed it so much, and you don't have to be a comic fan to like it. You don't have to be necessarily... I can't think of any criteria necessarily that you have to enjoy this movie.
You have to have a childlike sense of wonder, the ability to have fun, and just kind of wanting a good time. Like if you go into this movie being like really cynical, like, ugh, look at this shit, it's a product, whatever. Then I don't know, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not even like not recommending the movie to you. I'm just telling you to go fuck yourself. If you're
So basically,
yeah.
I think almost everyone could enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend you to go see it, especially while it's still in theaters, because the scale of it, how big it is and how crazy it is really great to see in theaters. I didn't have the fortune to see it in 3D, but I still enjoyed it like a boss.
It wasn't very good.
You didn't?
Well, I've seen it twice
enhance
now.
it too much?
And the first time I saw it just normally, and the second time I saw it in just normal 3D, but I'm curious to see it in IMAX, so...
Oh yeah, that might be interesting.
Alright.
A lot of people are seeing this movie more than once. If I got the opportunity to see it more than once, I maybe even would, because it's a pretty damn good movie. So... Yeah, you know what? That's my thought.
Okay, my final thoughts. I want DC to get a poster saying, with a picture of Groot and Rocket, and I want it to say, a movie about a talking raccoon and a tree was a million times better than your movie about Superman. That's all I wanted to say, and I wanted to go over DC's office, and I just wanted to stay there until we get a decent film.
That's beautiful. That's really profound, and I really respect it.
Yeah, but my final thoughts on this film is, this is basically our not necessarily our generations, but like the younger generations, like Ghostbusters meets Star Wars meets Indiana Jones meets RoboCop in a sense, because RoboCop is kind of thrown in there because this movie is actually surprisingly raunchy for a Marvel movie, which is not necessarily mainly marketed to kids, but it meant to be child friendly. But yeah, it's a very not cursy, but like raunchy movie.
There was a lot of cursing in it, yeah.
And I feel like for kids that's so fun. It's like he said dick. So yeah, I think this movie is great. If you have a maybe 9 or 10-year-old, take them, they'll love it.
But also you'll enjoy it on your own if you don't have kids.
Yeah, and you'll definitely enjoy it. Like, again, I hate when you have to quote turn your brain off for a movie, because you shouldn't have to. It's like a movie should just be good and should just be enjoyable.
And with this movie, you do not have to turn your brain off
at all. Again, this is what I said in my Dread review. This movie, and even if you do decide to turn your brain off, you can still enjoy it, because it's so much.
You gotta turn your brain on.
You gotta turn your brain on for this movie. So, in the end, I am going to give this film a 9 out of 10. Not only for the fact that it's fucking amazing, but for the fact that it just shows what you can do, and it's just like, it really feels like a cultural event in a lot of ways, like Avengers did when it came out.
Yeah, it's like, dude, this is what film can do. This is where we can go with it. And I know that a lot of like film, like big film enthusiasts who are like really into classical film be like, what do you like? You think Guardians of the Galaxy is like such a good movie? But like, it is. Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
As far as like pop culture film goes, this is some of the best stuff we got.
Yeah. Also, and if you're not seeing this just to be like that one asshole who's like, ugh, look at Guardians, such pandering shit. Ugh, I'm gonna go watch a story about a starving artist who falls in love with a quirky girl, and they go to Toronto or some shit. I feel like I'm just.
Speaking of which, I've thought of a really funny idea for something we might want to do later down on the line.
What?
Even though this isn't even related to comic books, we should just both see The Fault in Our Stars and talk about it.
I've already seen it.
Have you? I haven't. I'm gonna go see it at some point because that would be fun.
I mean, very mini review of The Fault in Our Stars. If you like the book, you're not going to be disappointed in the movie. But
interesting.
Back to Guardians. This final thoughts. This movie is literally about a talking raccoon, a tree, a green chick, a pro wrestler in a shit ton of makeup, and a loser ish. I mean, yeah. And it works so well, and I can't really say more than that because I don't want to, But yeah, go see. So
shall
movie.
Shall we put the outro here and then talk about the post-credit scene?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for listening to this episode. Wait for the post-credit podcast.
Just stick through.
If you haven't seen the movie, turn it off when I'm about. What?
Or you don't care.
Yeah. The end. Or is it? Thank you for listening to this episode of the Shazamcast. If you enjoyed this episode, it's probably a good idea for you to check out the other episodes, which you can find on our iTunes page at The Shazamcast. Subscribe to have them downloaded automatically to your computer as soon as they come out. We're also on Facebook. Facebook.com/ShazamCast, and WordPress, shazamcast.wordpress.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us, email into shazamcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to help us get the word out there about this show of ours, then leave us a review on iTunes. It only takes a minute, and it really, really helps us out. Thank you. It means a lot to us. Oh yes. A lot. More than you could ever imagine. Shazamcast. Okay,
So-
this is the post-credit podcast scene.
It is. So, let's talk about the first credit scene just off the bat. Howard the Duck.
Makes a cameo.
Yeah, let me talk about this.
Wait. Before you explain what Howard the Duck is, can I give my limited understanding on what I think he is from what I've heard?
I'm not explaining who he is, I'm just going to explain why he's in the film, because he's complicated.
Right, okay, so this is what
I'll
I
briefly do it.
think, as a person who has no idea, this is what I believe Howard the Duck is. He was like a comic book character back a while ago,
No,
who is a talking, walking, interdimensional duck
Mhm.
who smokes cigars and kicks ass. And he was in a terrible, like 80s or 90s movie at some point
Mhm.
that everyone seems to remember him for now. And for a long time, people have been joking that Marvel should make a Howard the Duck movie in their cinematic universe because it's such a silly, ridiculous concept. And that's all I know about Howard the Duck.
Okay, so you're actually not too far off. Basically, he was a parody of like the classic, Disney style cartoon character, and like the schmaltzy, child friendly stuff mixed with a shade smoking drunkard duck, who I again don't know very much about him. But yeah, and everyone really does remember him for that horrible movie. But the joke here is that it's kind of like Marvel giving the finger to basically everyone, because, no one likes Howard the Duck the movie. It's like
Yeah.
it's worldwide. It's panned as like just the worst movie ever. So I think the joke here is that Marvel made one of the best movies ever about a talking raccoon and a tree, and it's kind of like, haha, we just did this. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna throw in Howard the Duck just for shits and giggles. Look how far we've come. Like almost like an end dance kind of victory. Like our movies are so good, we can even throw Howard the Duck in.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely great.
But do I think that they're gonna make a new Howard the Duck movie?
No.
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 Definitely.
They're not.
Then literally 2 months later, it's like, Howard the Duck film announced.
Howard the Duck 2018 starring Nicolas Cage.
Yes! Oh my god! I would pay money to see Nicolas Cage play an anthropomorphic duck. If that sound clip doesn't make it into the intro, I don't know what will.
You know what? No CGI even. Let's just put Nicolas Cage in a duck costume.
Okay, I don't have any more things to talk about spoiler-wise for this film, so thank you for listening again. Do all that stuff we said before, and have a lovely evening, you sexy, sexy
Okay,
little boy.
have a good night, everybody. Bumble bum. Stay tuned for next time for his fanfic.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye.